welcome back to Sage and Stone Homestead. My name is Heather. We're getting a cold snap, it's a pretty decent one, in just a couple of days. And my asparagus has actually already started to come up. I don't think I've ever seen the asparagus popping off in the first couple weeks of March before, but it's been a very warm late winter, but we are quickly getting a reminder that it is not in fact spring yet. But I think before that cold snap comes, it's going to be coming with some rain. I would like to get the asparagus bed all ready to go. I haven't amended in here yet. Asparagus is a relatively heavy feeder. You do need to make sure that you are nourishing the crown, or else you're going to get really skinny, kind of wispy spears. And if the spears aren't strong enough, number one, you're not going to have much to harvest, but they won't have the energy to feed the crown and keep this lovely perennial going. Asparagus can live for well over 15 years, and we want to keep this bed healthy. Now, it doesn't look like I really love my asparagus bed right now, but it really doesn't take a whole ton of maintenance. A lot of what you see right here, like these larger dead sticks, this is the asparagus fronds that I left last year to collect the sunlight and feed the crown over winter. They have done their job. There's really not much left here. I am just gonna put these to the side. Oh my goodness, look, there's a kind of a big one down here. See? That one's decent size. This one's a little bit wispy. All of these I'm going to harvest even if they're small. I'll probably wait until the last minute just so they can get as big as they can. But asparagus is not frost tolerant. The spears are not. And so those will get mushy if I leave them. So I might as well take what does come up. And then when it rains, the rain will wash in my amendment, which this year I'm going to amend with Trifecta Plus. The last few years I've either just amended with rabbit manure or I've amended with like a mushroom compost. Both are really, really nice, but I think I want to put this on it this year just to make sure we're getting all of our NPKs taken care of. One of the most common questions that I get when it comes to growing asparagus is how do you weed around it? I think a lot of people are nervous about damaging the crown, especially if you have like a crabgrass or a grass that grows by rhizome kind of going throughout your bed, which I do have. And the answer is I don't really worry about it too much. I don't fuss about it too much. If I'm going to be pulling out a big grass root, I just do it. And it seems that it doesn't hurt the crowns at all. At least I haven't noticed any problems with my asparagus coming back. So I'm not going to be super gentle. I'll be a little bit gentle when I see the spears that are coming up, but even, you know, the spent spears that are still a little bit loosely connected to the crown, I'm just going to wiggle them out. They are really loosely connected, and that's not going to hurt anything. Got little pieces of this like wire paneling in here. This I was laying throughout the beds all last year to try to keep my cats out of the bed, try to keep the dog out of the bed. Sometimes when I freshly work a bed, the dog thinks it's the best place to lay down. That obviously is not ideal, but I can deal with that. I've got some things I'm thinking about doing this year. To bring something up that came up recently and has come up in the past regarding my garden. There was someone that watched the most recent garden tour, which is the first garden tour of the season, and they said the mess really gives me anxiety. And while this may be true for them, what it communicates to me, the fact that they took the time to make the comment on my video, it says to me, you're too much. Your garden is too much. You know, how did you let your garden get like this? And I want it to be very clear to everyone that this is a very real look at what gardens look like in March. At the end of winter especially, a lot of gardeners, by the time that fall finally comes and you get that first frost, we're exhausted. There's not many gardens that like properly at the end of a very productive summer can put their gardens to bed and just tuck them in nice and get all their amendments done and all their cover crops sown. It's a very rare gardener that does that, especially on their own. My husband and kids do a little bit here and there. The kids do especially a lot and their gardens, and especially in summertime my husband will be out here gardening, but for the most part this is all me. And what I don't want to bring to you guys is something false. I want to be able to show you my life and my garden as it is, so that you understand what's normal. This isn't curated. This is very often, as you've seen here, something that I do with you. I show you my process so that it can help motivate some of you. I know that there's nothing more motivating to me personally than watching someone else work in their garden. It really does excite something in me, and I would really love to be part of that chain and have that be passed on to you as well. And so I think that if we really kind of take a step back and realize that a lot of YouTube can be curated, but most of it isn't. Most of it is just people showing their real lives, and we can take a step back and realize that this person making the video isn't somebody that has a production team and has a lot of extra helping hands and scripts and things that they, you know, produce these videos with. That we're just real people. And I think extending grace to real people, putting a mirror up to ourselves and realizing that we also have faults is really important. So yeah, there's gonna be things in my garden that I may not even clean up this year. I mean, I've got a lot going on in my farm and with my family. I do a lot of things, and a lot of times when you have your hands in a lot of different pots, you can't do them all perfectly. You just do what you can and harvest what you can, and try not to bog yourself down with expecting so much perfection that you lose the joy and the love of the thing. If I really went gung-ho at the end of the garden season to tuck everything in beautifully, I would probably not really want to garden the next season. Our winter was not very long to begin with. We had a lot of really nice weather going into the fall time. We're getting a lot of really nice weather coming out of winter, and really we didn't have a whole lot of rest time. If I didn't allow myself that rest time, I wouldn't have the energy for the really hard season where there's a lot of bugs, there's a lot of weeds. But beyond that, when there is attention given to the garden, there is a lot that can be reaped. And yes, some of that is through weeds, some of that is through a little bit of mess, but I want to show you that that can be beautiful. It can be productive. You can remediate these spaces well enough to really enjoy what's coming out of them. Spunky, come here, baby. Did you get out? Do you want back in? Yeah? Hi, sweet pea. Come here. I know it's not a cookie, but maybe it'll work. Hi, baby. I should grab a cookie. I don't want to scare her. The kids told me Spunky was out earlier. I don't have this electric fence on, mostly because it's touching a lot of weeds and things. Come here, girl. Spunky. Come here, baby. Yeah. That's what does it, doesn't it? Come here, girl. Come here, babe. You want a cookie? Come here. I know, is it muddy? Is it gross and muddy? Okay, come here. Come on. Here, you can do it. Jump. Jump. There's the tiniest bit of mud here. Oh, you're such a princess. Come here. Trying to Hansel and Gretel her this way. Come here, babe. Spunky. I didn't want to scare her, but I also didn't want to miss my opportunity. Should I cut your toes while I have you? I think so. I was actually thinking about putting Spunky back in with the main herd, back in with her mom, and I might do that. I might do it today so that I don't have to keep catching her if she gets out of the fence. I'm getting quite a lot of milk right now, and if her mom will take her back and nurse her, that will be great. Her mom is being sold in milk, but if she goes ahead and nurses back on mom again, it's one less goat that I need to milk, and that's nice. complain about having a lot to do. We're just trying to collect rosemary to make dinner from scratch, which I do a lot of the time. Not every night, but many nights, most nights. As happens on farms, you get side quests. There you go, sweet thing. There you go, sweet thing. You want to go back in with Mama? Let's see. You go back in with Mama? Let me look at you. You look pretty good. Ta-da! That's your baby, Winnie. There we go. She might let her nurse. That'd be nice. It's okay if she does it, but it'd be nice if she did. This way too, when it comes time to wean the boys that are in here, some of them need to wean pretty soon. I could just throw them in with President Snow and Kato and not have to worry about playing musical goats with Spunky at that time. Anyway, I have a focaccia to make. Well, my tomatoes had caramelized sugar because that's what happens when you dehydrate tomatoes. So those got a little crispy, but dinner will still be good. It's nothing a little ranch can't fix. Right, honey?
Something like that. A little hot sauce.
Do y'all hear that, baby? Hi, babies. Hi. Where is everyone, huh? Where did everyone go? I don't know if you can tell behind me, the alfalfa is full. The hay has hay, but my girls are out by the pond, which never has happened this early in the year. Usually the goats aren't really messing with the pond area until about May. I do have some grass out here. I think a lot of this is ryegrass. I mean, some of it's clover and then some of it is buttercup, but I had ryegrass planted in this area last year. It was annual ryegrass, but it still did go to seed and the goats didn't eat the seed heads. But the cool part to me is that they are trekking from where there's obvious grass over where there's really not much except for buttercup out to here where there are green things growing for them. Here comes Molly and a few babies. Come on. Hey, y'all didn't want to be left alone, did you? There's still some babies that are over there alone. Let's go. All in all, the girl goats have around 6 acres that they can roam, and that's really nice because it does cut down on the feed bill. Honestly, I didn't expect them to ignore the alfalfa to come out here. That is the happy surprise for me. This is the first year I've fed free choice alfalfa pellets, and I really only started doing it in the last, goodness, it must have been 3 months or so. I want to say 4 months, but I don't even think it's been that long. Hey, Spunky, how you doing? Sweet girl. Oh, Winnie is, I guess, not a fan. That's your daughter. Girl. Be nice to her. Just keep walking. It's a big field. I call this area of our farm the hill because it's the most mounded up part that we have. I think that part of this is because this is a man-made pond, and so they dug down and had to put the dirt somewhere. I think that's part of what this mound is here, but it grows really nice grass. Oh my gosh, Winnie is ruining our serenity here. One of the problems that we can have with this larger pasture is the fact that we have baby goats, you know, hitting the ground twice a year. And sometimes when they're real small, babies don't have a lot of stamina to keep up with the herd. Now, about half of the babies stayed down at the barn. Actually, the younger ones, most of the younger ones did stay down there. Frenzy's Fable is here with us, and she's keeping up okay. The younger ones are Elpis's triplets, which none of them seem like they came down. And then Red's, which we have one. He's doing okay. Are you over it, Spunky? Are you over it? You can keep up. I do have GPS tracking collars that I put on the babies, and it's not necessarily a GPS tracker. Like, I can look at it on my phone and generally find where the animal is, but I can't like exact pinpoint it. Basically just shows me my own address. But what I can do is click a call button and it'll send out a beep if I am within about 100 feet of the goat, and I've been able to find babies hunkered down in the grass by using that. So that's been nice, but I don't think we necessarily need to pull out the collars right now. I think we're gonna be okay. All the babies are over a week old, and usually by about 2 weeks old, they can keep up with the herd really well. And they can scream loud enough where if they are lost, everybody can hear them, including me and the kids, and we can come find them. Your boys are down at the barn, May. You left them over there, that's okay. Hey, pretty girl. sir. I think you're about as big as Spunky. My goodness, how'd you do that, huh? Mama's got some good milk, huh? Look at him, he's half her size. Also, I am not sure if you noticed it on our way in to go on the pond walk. I have 3 new rabbits here, 3 silver foxes, and I actually didn't know until this morning that the does were going to come in the color blue, and I'm thrilled. They are, you know, a little bit skittish, as meat rabbits sometimes are, and this is, you know, a new home for them. Oh, it's okay. But check her out. Isn't she just the cutest? She's a little scared. She does not know what's happening. She's been plucked out of her usual environment with her mama and put in this strange barn with these strange noises and strange smells. But this is one of the does. Her sister looks exactly the same. Beautiful. They still kind of have their baby hair, so they haven't grown into their mature coat. But they are just lovely. Right around 8 weeks old, so nice and big. They came from litters of 7, and so that's pretty good, pretty average for silver foxes. But this particular breeder, he says that he can have 8 to 10 on average. So these are the 2 does. I will put them in their own pens in good time, but I decided that this will probably be easier on them for a transition. And then up here is the buck. He is the more classic black color that the silver foxes come in. He's about a month older than the does, and he's beautiful too. There he is up close. Beautiful boy, huh? We figured out a name for him. His name is Paul Bunyan. That's your name, Paul Bunyan. Name suggestions for the does welcome. I don't necessarily have a theme as far as my rabbit names go. I think one of them maybe is a little bit lighter than the other, but besides that, it's kind of hard to tell them apart. Hello. Well, this morning it was 22 degrees and I was so mad about this cold snap. It's been so warm and wonderful, and that rude low temperature had to come through. And I was a little bit worried about some of my trees that had started to bloom. This is the tree in the kids' garden that has some blooms on it still, but I don't know if they're gonna really survive. This is a grafted tree, and this middle part here is the plum part of the tree, and it did bloom like last week. I don't know if it's gonna set any fruit, and it just had opened the peach blossoms, but they look kind of zapped. So I don't know, we're just gonna have to see about that. That's one of the things about really warm weather followed by a cold snap. It can mess with things like that. I do have peach trees in the greenhouse too, so we'll follow Nugget and go check that out. Hey boys, you guys warming up against the side of the building? I fed hay yesterday, And usually by the time I come out the next day, the hay is all gone. But they still have a lot of hay in here. Hi Ruckus, how you doing, sir? I don't think he wants to play with you, Nugget. The boys have a lot of green grass growing in their pasture, and they have been partaking quite regularly, and that's good. It's definitely one reason we wanted to open up as much of our land as possible to the goats to cut down on the feed bill. And it does do so. It does cut down a lot. One thing he's been doing, I don't know if he's gonna do it. Nuggie, come here. What's this? Look. Oh, he wants you. Look down here. What's that? He's been plucking and eating dandelions. It's kind of cute. Ooh, it's warm in here. Looks like our seedlings did okay. Look, even the tomato volunteers, they lived. That's awesome. See them all? I don't know if I'm gonna let any of them live, but it is pretty cool to see a frost tender thing survive the greenhouse, especially because my greenhouse isn't completely shored up. I've got some cracks in the plastic. It is quite breezy still in here sometimes when the wind really gets going. But because those tomatoes are fine, pretty sure that the peaches are gonna be just fine. So that's pretty cool. We've had a lot of bumblebees in here doing their thing. You got some petals on you, sir? Yeah, no. Good boy. We had been waiting for the carrots to germinate, and I did wonder if they would be okay if we got a cold snap in here when they're this little, but they did just fine. See, we've got little carrots here, some little baby carrots there. Very good. I do have some work to do in the greenhouse. I decided I was gonna wait until after this cold snap, just because, out of principle. But I would really like to get more peas going so that everything is growing at kind of the same rate. I think my hose is still a little frozen. Alright, so what I've got planted that already sprouted, those are snow peas. And what I'm going to be putting on this 10-foot trellis on either side are two different types of shelling pea. These are the Lincoln shelling peas and the Wando shelling peas. This is what they look like. Not very appetizing right now. And the seed packet says to put them an inch deep and about 2 inches apart. Each little panel segment here is 4 inches, so that's really helpful for me in like visualizing my spacing. So what I like to do is poke down every time I see a vertical bar here, and then I'll go and place one in between, and that gives me my 2-inch spacing. On this side, we'll do the Wando peas. Hey boys, how's it going, huh? Hey guys, happy Wednesday. So I want to grab little Cato here and get a little bit of a closer look at him. Whenever I feel like I need to treat a goat for something, I like to bring you along to show you guys my thought process on things. And I've been eyeballing Cato for probably about 2 weeks at this point. He had this weird sounding cough. It almost sounded like he was trying to hack up a hairball. And normally I don't automatically jump for the antibiotics when I hear a cough, because they can cough for a number of reasons, all the way from a selenium deficiency to dry hay and dust and things like that. But I've noticed today, and it may be just that it's a nice warm day, but Cato is laying around a lot more than normal. Usually he's up and moving around with President Snow. I was just in there milking, and he was like, he'd get up for food and then he'd lay right back down. He'd get up for food, he'd lay right back down. I had cookies and things. He's been eating, he's been drinking, but I'm still a little bit concerned, and I want to get him up on the stand and give him a good once over. He's a little bit friendly, but I don't think, he barely lets me kind of pet him. He's going to take a second to catch. I tried to feel if he had some hot breath, see if he had a fever, but it's hard to tell. So I need to check. You're all right, you're all right, you're all right. All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I know. Got it. Okay, so I have noted that his appetite seems normal. His water intake seems normal. He does look a little bit thin. I see some bones back there. Even though Cato and President Snow are destined for the freezer, they are dairy goats, and dairy goats can be a little bit more angular. But still, I feel like this, he actually has not bad body condition. He's about a 3, but he is thinner than his brother. And so I'm gonna look for signs of parasites with him. I'm gonna check his FOMACHA score. You're all right, you're all right. Nah, it's beautiful. See that? It's nice and red. All of our FOMACHA scores have been good and red lately, which is great. I have a designated goat thermometer. I'll check his temp. Now I was kind of running around with him, so he might read a little bit warm because of that. They can be anywhere from 102 to about 103.5. Yeah, 103.3, that doesn't worry me. We just did a little bit of running around. Now my husband has a stethoscope, but it's really nice. I don't think he'd want me borrowing it for the goats necessarily. So I'm just gonna listen to him and feel for any kind of crackling. And I feel crackling. So because I have the cough and I've got the laying down and I can feel as he's breathing in a little rattle, he's definitely gonna get some new floor today. These up and down temps, I mean, it was last weekend, I think we were in the 80s. Then we dipped way down into the 20s and now we're coming back up to the 80s. That's really hard on goats, and with him being a little bit sus, I wanna treat him. All right. I was going to guess that he was about 60 pounds, and according to my weight tape, he is 60 pounds on the nose. These things can be off from about 5 to 10 pounds, so keep that in mind. I am going to give him an antibiotic injection, but before I do that, I am going to mess with him a little bit more and do things with him that I need to do anyway. March is my month where I give selenium, and I do give my copper boluses and things. I don't worry about selenium for my meat goats necessarily. I mean, I will give them selenium if it seems like they need it, but he's going in the freezer in October, and I don't know, I don't think he necessarily needs it. But I do have a copper bolus in here that I am going to go ahead and give him just to be ahead on the parasites. He already looks really good, and I would like him to stay looking good. Alright, you're good. Oh, I know, but you got it. So gonna do his feet since I have him. No, this is not the worst of it. So I've got my antibiotic here. This is Nuflor, which is a one and done type dose, which is really nice for skittish goats. You can inject it sub-Q or intramuscularly. Sometimes intramuscularly is a little bit easier on skittish goats. There's a spot back here where you can place it, or a large muscle in the neck. You're okay. I know, I know, I know. I knew you'd hate that the most. Peace offering. He's gonna yell at me while eating it. Aw, I know. Put you back. There we go. He's gonna be mad at me, but he's gonna be all right. Here's some babies acting like big boys. Some of these babies are getting to be of age where if they start extending, I'm going to remove them. I'm just watching cute little Toddy here. He's the oldest. So far I haven't seen anyone extending. And if you don't know what I mean by extending, you can use your imagination. The inside parts briefly become outside parts. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see that, because where there's a willy, there's a way. Huh. That is what they say. I haven't had to give Elpis's triplets any supplemental bottles after the first week or so. They've been nursing and growing really well. They're outside on Poop Mountain right now. This mound has shrunk up quite a lot, but I was able to clean out a lot of, you know, the pack in the barn about 10 days ago, and it's rained on it since. Yeah, I'm just watching them. I'm not really concerned about the little babies mounting each other because I don't think the does are going to be cycling this early, but I do have, you know, Nigerian dwarves in the barn that are short enough to be able to be reached, and Nigerian dwarves are polyestrous. So I've got to watch it. What are you girls doing, huh? Begging? Begging for treats? Look at these babies. They're so cute. Hey, Stella girl. Growing like a weed. Hey, girlfriend. Yeah. Oh, holy moly. I think it's been a while since I picked you up. You are a big girl. Tori, don't eat the camera. Come here, Tori. Tori, come here. I like to keep an eye on the baby's FAMACHA scores too. It can be a little bit hit or miss whether baby FAMACHA scores are anything to really fuss about. I can tell you that if they are bright white on the inside of their eyelid, that is not normal. They can be like a little bit palish pink and not as bright red, but you should not be seeing stark white. That's a problem. And it can indicate like a subclinical coccidia infection, which we tend to deal with coccidia quite a bit in springtime. I also usually tend to see a lot of worms, usually by about February, especially when it's warm. I am starting to feed out bioworma, and I have not had the need this year, knock on wood. So we'll see, probably all the coccidia and all the worms will hit all at once, but I'm going to try to get on top of getting their copper done soon so we can at least keep the worms at bay. Oh, okay, we'll let poor little Stella go. Oh my gosh, you're gonna cut my hair with your teeth. Sir. Listen, Biscuit. Oh, ouch. Can we not? Can we not? Here, come to the fridge. There we go. Jeez. There we go, Biscuit. Ah. See what I mean about the smaller Nigerians? I mean, Winnie, Grady is just as tall as Winnie. So, we gotta watch you guys. Biscuit, I swear to goodness, Biscuit's a problem. Biscuit? Goodness gracious. See, Mooney knows all about his future job. Sir. Look at his lip. He's not gonna show it to us. Yeah, what did you discover back there? Are you cute? You are, you're cute. Okay, bro. We're here. It's okay, honey. Christine's calling for him. Good grandma. Helicity. You think it's about you, huh? Gale and Helicity, the perpetual babies. You're all right. Interesting. I have 3 rabbits due to kindle today, and there's really no evidence that they have yet. Usually there's at least somebody that's given birth overnight. Nope, nothing. So I guess that'll be next week's video. How we doing? You feeling okay today, sir? Not too mad at me? You guys can probably graduate away from having a nest box, huh? Yeah. You're pretty big. And it's gonna be plenty warm. You're all right. There we go. Good morning, piggies. There's still hay over here. Got Farrell and Mochi over there. And then the other 4 right here, eating grass. I actually did quite a lot of work in the greenhouse yesterday. I got the rest of the peas planted. These 2 sides are what we did together. I also amended over here, but I don't have anything planted here yet. I'm gonna put some of the plant starts that I have in my shed out here when they're ready. But I put some more Wando peas on this side and then some beets right here. And then I went ahead and got some soil put in this tall bed and then transplanted some of the onions over. So right here and over there, that's all the onions we have this year. And you know what? It's gonna be plenty. We grew so many last year. I still have a ton of them freeze-dried and in cans. I don't have any more fresh though. That's what I'm growing those for, is fresh onions. Even though I have drip irrigation set up in here, when I have new seeds that I've planted, especially when they're real little seeds like carrots, I like to go ahead and give them a nice deep water once a day. This soil that I have in the greenhouse right now is a little bit more dense, and some smaller seeds are having a hard time coming up through. Even some of the larger seeds are having a hard time getting up through the soil once it's dried out a little bit on top. So keeping it moist will help keep it a little bit looser, and the little baby seedling can come up a little bit better. Something that you can do, which I have done in the past and I will be doing in the future too, is if you have a more dense soil, sometimes this is what you can get for a decent price when you're trying to fill raised beds. When you go to plant a seed, what you can do is actually make a well, maybe about the size of your fist, and put in potting soil in that spot. Potting soil in general is a lot looser, it's fluffier, it is a little bit more conducive to seeds sprouting in it. You can put some potting soil in that hole that you've made in the more dense soil and then plant your seeds in there. And that will allow the seedling an environment that's a little bit better for germination, and then once they get bigger, the roots and things will go into the more dense soil and they tend to do just fine. that is what I'm planning to do when I plant out the lane, but I haven't filled those beds yet. That's gotta be soon. But before I did that, I did want to finish what I've got going on in here. And I think at this point, all I have left to do is I've got to clear out some of this extra clean out from last year that didn't break down as much as I thought. I'm gonna stick this stuff out on the lane, but I'll amend right here, and then this side of this bed that needs more soil, and then that's really it. After that, the greenhouse is done. I just need to put the transplants out, which those can really go out at any time. Not the frost tender ones, but the frost tolerant ones. Yesterday too, I also did fill this planter up with potting soil, and I put a habanada pepper in here. It's actually been a couple years since I've grown habanada. It's one of my favorites. If you haven't heard of it before, it's a habanero without the heat. There's like the tiniest little kiss of heat, but it's really nothing. I had quite a few people wanting updates on Farrell's little bald head up here. The fuzz is starting to grow back quite well. At first, I wasn't sure if he had a zinc deficiency or if he maybe had mites. So what I did was I just treated them with zinc. I gave them free choice zinc. I spent actually quite a lot on free choice zinc. And while they did eat it and the boys do look really good, it did not help his hair loss situation. So I went ahead and assumed that he did in fact have mites, and I treated Farrell with Sidectin. It's an oral dewormer that apparently does work for mites, and his hair started growing back really fast. Well, at least he let me get my sentence out that time. Sometimes ruckus can be a lot. Yeah, Farrell's hair will be back to its former glory. His son Bear has inherited that from his daddy. So Farrell will get his mane back soon. I did worry a little bit about this strawberries that I had transplanted right before we got that frost. It looks like probably all of them are living. At least some of them look pretty good. Some of them, the leaves died back, but they may bounce back. And if not, that's okay. I do have extra strawberries that I can kind of throw in here. They're not the same type, but they're strawberries anyway. Anyway, I think Ruckus needs me to start the feeding routine. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to that. I'll see you guys again soon.